Hello everyone and welcome to Warzone Bootcamp. Whether or not you're new to Warzone, this video series will help you with basic and advanced techniques to help you play by yourself or with others, hopefully leading to you and your team to have enough knowledge to land some future wins. Let's get started. This video is the first of many and will cover just the basics, enough for you to jump into your first game and be confident enough to understand how Warzone works and how to make those plays. Before we get into anything, there are a couple quick changes that you can make before we even boot up a match. These are two quality of life improvements for the minimap and how you sprint. You'll want to go to your general settings and set the minimap to square, not round. This will give you a 20% boost to your overall minimap size, allowing you to see more players in the area. The second setting is changing your sprint in movement settings to automatic tactical sprint. This allows you to be full sprint at all times. It takes a bit of getting used to, but allows you to get into cover and move into engagements a lot easier. The only real downside to this is attempting to hipfire. You almost need to be fully stopped or crouched/prone to hipfire easily using this setting. Alright, now let's hit that Warzone playlist and choose how many players you'll be playing with because we're dropping in. Let's start with picking a location. The best advice I can give you starting out is to pick 3 locations and really learn the entirety of them. 3 places to maybe try out are Promenade East in this hills area, Farmland up to Quarry, and this section between airport and military base. If these are somewhat central in your main circle, it's certainly worth heading to. Trying to pick somewhere that's not super far out is also beneficial so that you can start to loot and get gear before the other teams do. Flying across the map can be fun sometimes, but try not to make it a habit. Now that you've picked a location, get to the ground and fast. There are 2 methods for getting to the ground effectively. The first being dropped straight to your location and pulling your parachute right above the ground, cut it within 13 meters to safely land. That 13 meters is the max height that you can fall from without dying. The second method is the pull and cut method. This allows you to travel further distances without dropping too fast to miss your destination. You can simply pull out your chute, fly a bit ahead, cut it to fall faster, pull it to go further, wash, rinse, repeat. During flight time, you can also take advantage of looking around to see if anyone else is nearby. Alright, you've hit the ground and hopefully didn't break your legs. Now go and get a gun and fast. Anything is better than the pistol, with maybe the only exception being sniper rifles, and that's a hard maybe. Kill anyone you can, start looting. The whole goal at this point is to clear your area, get money to work towards a loadout or bringing back the teammates that died, and getting gear to win engagements. When picking up guns, the rarity is not the important thing. Sure, they might look cool, but what's really important is the gun and how comfortable you are with it. I really try to pick up an assault rifle and a submachine gun so that I have a good variation of range options. However, some good quick pickups are LMGs, assault rifles, submachine guns, and sometimes shotguns, although not all shotguns are easy to use. A general rule of thumb is that the guy with the most ammo in the magazine tends to win the fight. While you're picking stuff up, you should also be grabbing a tactical and a lethal. The number one thing that I see everyone miss in games is not picking up a lethal and a tactical. You should be grabbing something that even if you don't use, it's still there if you need it. There's literally no reason not to grab one if you don't have one. Pick up that frag grenade, that gas grenade. It's okay. You can always switch them later or not use them at all. Another big complaint is that you should reload your guns when moving into cover and armor up constantly. Don't do this when staring down an enemy, obviously, but take a second to find cover, and please pay attention before engaging an enemy to be fully loaded and plated up. Oh, well, you died. Hey, it happens to everyone. There's not a lot of advice that I can give you for the gulag, other than maybe try not to look in the direction that you're going to go until that buzzer hits. You can see your enemy's silhouette, and that's a good idea of where they're going to go. Also, either rush or chill in your spawn, but definitely try. The gulag is frustrating, but you can get better at it by simply trying to win. Good luck is all I can tell you. Now on to the bread and butter of Warzone. Loadouts, baby! Even if you don't have a custom loadout, there are default ones in the game that you should grab. The reason is simple. It gives you an edge with perks. If you don't like the default loadouts, you can always rotate your guns with the loot that you've picked up, but you cannot loot perks. Any advantage in a fight that you can get, you should take. Out of the default loadouts, the anti-vehicle, lockdown, and running gun are decent options to start with, as 2 will offer you the perk called Ghost, which takes you off the minimap when UAVs are used, and the lockdown class, which has an LMG and a riot shield to cover your back. My team and many others like to grab whatever gun we're comfortable with in our first loadout, and then when or if we get to our second, we tend to try to go Ghost to avoid detection. Now you might be asking yourself, how do I get a loadout or enough money to get one? Well, there are 2 ways to get a loadout. The first is through buy stations for $10,000. You can purchase one for your entire team, or the second is to wait for the first circle of gas to fully close and one will drop, although it may come with an enemy team's loadout or several, so be prepared to fight if you see more than 1 box. There is also one that shows up in the late game circle right when the gulag fully closes. This is the hardest one to get to, as everyone will be pretty much close to one another. Okay, so you need money. While there are a number of ways to acquire some of that much sought after cheddar, some moolah if you will. Step 1 is random stacks of cash that will be spread out all around areas, on roofs, in hallways, and abandoned vehicles, and various nooks and crannies. The second is by looting chests. They have a chance to drop cash, albeit not terribly reliable. The third is through contracts spread around the map. All will award money, but not all are used for that purpose. The 3 main contracts to focus on are Scavenger, which is the magnifying glass looking one, which awards gear, money, and an armor satchel in the final chest. The Bounty, or the crosshair looking one, which will give you an approximate location of an enemy, and the Recon, or the flag, which will show you the next circle on the map. The final way to make some money is pure, unadulterated murder. Go kill some dude, and he'll drop some of his wallet all over the ground. Okay, why do you need money? What on earth should you spend it on? There are many things in the buy station, but as a general rule, get a loadout if possible or if you need one, a UAV to find enemies that are close by, a self-revive to pick yourself back up, and armor or munition boxes to help out your team. You can also drop and share your items with your team, so don't be stingy with cash, and don't die with tens of thousands of buckaroos in your pocket. Spend that dough where you can. So you're moving, the gas is coming, the circle is shrinking. What do you do? Well, sometimes the best bet is staying as central as possible, and this strategy works for some. What my team tends to do, not always, is follow the outside ring of the circle to its closest point between the gas and the circle, and take down stragglers that are moving into that circle. This is also a viable way to camp if that's what you're wanting to do. Hey, I don't judge, we've all been there. Now what the circle will do is it will shrink down through the map, and there's always a section that will be closer to the gas in the circle. This section allows you more time before the gas will touch you, as opposed to being on the larger gaps, which gas will move a lot faster through. Some final thoughts for you, just to go over some general mistakes that I see new players and even some advanced players making. Remember, it's okay to loot, but don't make it all about the loot. If you find yourself just opening chests with no real reason or rhyme to it, you've well past the need to open them. A good balance is that if you need cash, go for it, or a gun that's just infinitely better than the trash one that's in your hands. Also, do your best to not stare at items for too long. This also includes grabbing a loadout. Be intentional, grab, go, and find cover. Doesn't hurt to look at things, including players, but try your best not to stay in one place and staring at one thing for too long. This is how you'll get shot by a sniper with no effort. Also, it's completely okay to pay attention to your map and ping enemies as often as possible, but remember to clear your old markers. The congestion of things on screen can overwhelm any team, and if it serves no purpose, remove it. Another big mistake that I see is stacking up. It's okay to be close to your team, but try to spread out enough so that one guy with a lot of ammo doesn't just easily pick everyone off. The final one is don't be afraid to make a decision. It's okay to make a bad one, but not making any is how you're going to lose more games than anything. Communicate with your team well, don't overwhelm the comms, and let decisions happen. If you find yourself getting frustrated or mad, take a break, play something else, go get some water, stay hydrated, or even play a different game mode like Plunder. It's a great place to test weapons and get a feel for working with your team on the Verdansk map. My last piece of advice to you is you will not get better unless you keep playing. That's really all I have for this video. I'll be releasing more within the week, going in depth on every topic here to help you even more. Let me know in the comments if this helped you out, or you found something that you didn't know, and what you would like to see in the future. Come join me on Twitch, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and watch me play some Warzone and get my butt kicked to my own advice. Hey, thank you as always.